Live from Pahrump, Nevada, the Valley of the Dirt People, it's Tech Talk, Taco Tuesday, with your hosts, Jimmy Lewis and Logan Tyler.
Live from Pahrump, Nevada, Valley of the Dirt People.
This is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Thank you, Logan. I was busy pushing buttons on something else. I hope we're live. Does it seem like we're live? Can somebody give me an update that we're live?
You are live. You're live.
That's good. Because I was gonna do some. I have my voice-o-matron here, which everybody's scared about.
You are an idiot.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna plug the voice-o-matron directly into the soundboard. So welcome everybody. Thank you, George, for confirming from. He's in Montana. Montana, I believe. Southern Canada, we like to call it.
Yeah.
He's trying to get out of the States a little bit. We have the counter going today. Counter is brought to you by. Who's it brought to you by this time?
Bulletproof Designs. Why not?
Bulletproof Designs counter tonight. You can call in to this show on the Seat Concepts Hot Seat Hotline, and I will tell you what. I'm really stoked that. Did you get it? Did you catch that one? Get it. I'm really stoked that Seat Concepts has my ass, if you know what I mean. They did for this long adventure ride. We're going to talk about that on tonight's show. Mm-hmm. I have the seat that I rode on right behind me here. This is going to be our product that we're going to talk about tonight. And if you know me and seats and stuff like that, I don't sit down a whole lot when I ride, except on this bike I did. And I actually got a seat that I was a little hesitant to buy, and I'll explain all that when we talk about that tonight. So we're going to have a little bit of adventure bike riding talk tonight. But the show would not be possible without all of our sponsors, which include Yamaha, Moto, Scott Sports, Climb,
DDC, Trail Tech, Fasst Company, Seat Concepts, and Bulletproof Designs.
Right, the Bulletproof Designs counter, and you don't get to push that because
counter.
It's when I delay and use a noise to cut into it. So we're going to try to keep this show nice and clean tonight, tight, good sound quality, lots of very important information. I was told by people that know a lot better than me that I need to slow down the speaking sometimes. I just need to enunciate. And they said that thing that's, what do they call this thing up here?
Helmet holder.
Helmet holder. So I'm not supposed to use my helmet holder. Well, I got to stop the information that goes from my helmet holder between the time I think about it and it goes out my mouth. Because sometimes it comes out a little too quick and it's the wrong, it comes off the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yep. Did that happen during our ride at all?
Maybe.
Did you see? I explained it to you, though. I told you what was going on. I gave him the same speech I gave you, Matt, about when I get my arms start flapping up and down and they look like helicopter blades. Talking at the same time, and it's like usually at high pitch and lots of things. We had
that speech.
That speech, yeah. So, yeah, we got that. So, Logan, tell everybody what we did last week.
We drove up to the Tour Tech rally, did some schools there, and then we drove to Idaho, some spot in Idaho, rode with some of your buddies for 3 days.
I think it was 3 days. We did 2 days of small bikes and
one
adventure bike prep day.
Yep. Then we set out on an adventure to Pahrump.
Correct.
Yes, on 390s, KTM 390s.
That's right. We took a couple of rental bikes we have here at the Jimmy Lewis Off-Road Training, which may or may not be a sponsor of the show. Depends on how I feel about, I don't really know if I want to invest in such a kind of a, half-ass podcast with second-rate producers and, ragtag team of these guys. So the
first-rate producer, but we have some in training.
Oh, he's doing good. We haven't had a technical difficulty yet, have we?
No, because it's under my dill.
Did-
Maybe I'm better as like a manager.
Do you need a microphone or what? Do we got to get you a
Here, just spin
microphone?
this thing
Do you want to
around.
be a co-host here? Are you working your way up to the hosting?
Me? I don't know. But
So, hey, I saw a question. We're currently live on our Instagram thing, and of course, our buddy Victor, he says, "Do you use or shave your legs Tour de France biker style for long rides, or does the Seat Concepts do it for me?" So, shaved legs Tour de France biker shorts. Well, I thought he was actually asking if I shave my legs. The answer is no. I don't have that much time. I can barely shave my face. Thank God all the hair fell off the top of my head. But no, Victor, I don't use any biker shorts. In fact, most of the time I was riding in swim trunks because we got to swim in freezing cold rivers.
From about, what was it? What was the coldest one you would guess?
Was it the one
68.
was it the one I no. Was it the one I was the lake colder than the river?
I think so. Yeah.
You
it
thought
is.
the lake was colder than the river?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we swam in a lake that was pretty high, maybe at like around 6,500 feet elevation. And then there was a river that was also pretty high, but it had just come off a meadow and it was sunny.
Yep.
I dove in that one, and in the beginning it felt colder, but afterwards it felt really nice.
Yeah.
I have video of that someplace. It's on all the videos. So it was a good time. So no biker shorts, Victor. I just whatever my shorts were at the time. So I see any other questions in there? We got a lot of people checking us out on the grams right now. Too bad we can only do these videos for a few minutes, though, right? Not for the longest time. But again, if you're there watching us, it's at Dirt Bike Test. Just go find it someplace. These shows, by the way, are up on YouTube, archived. We have 100 and how many is this show? 147th
47.
episode. What are we going to do for 150th show?
Robert
Going to Romero's?
Romero's. That's what we did on the,
100th, didn't we?
yeah, and I think
I think we get Big John back.
maybe.
He might have to take a vacation day or something like that.
Yeah.
Guy's busy. You think we would actually talk about motorcycles and motorcycle related products on our 150th show?
No.
No.
Probably as much as we usually do.
See, Logan's getting a little more comfortable with me. Notice he's actually engaging in this art we call conversation. It's it's going to get better. Hey, read off our sponsors again while I have a sip of my drink.
Yamaha, you can experience pure performance and exhilarating power with a full line of Yamaha YZ two-stroke bikes. Visit YamahaMotorsports.com today to explore what's new for 2022. The revised YZ125 makes for the perfect step-up machine, featuring all-new engine, revised 6-speed transmission, new brakes, and suspension settings.
Okay, hold on. That was good. Do you feel like you're a step-up rider?
At one point,
So you took the YZ125 out to a works race and quite possibly had your best results.
in the YZ, in the 125 class.
Right. So it was way better than your old 125.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go. There's Logan. That was a complete explanation of how his race went. Continue on with the YZ250.
Improved rider ergonomics and with new aggressive styling and more. The YZ250 also delivers improved rider ergonomics, new front and rear brakes, updated suspension settings, and aggressive styling. For a truly race-inspired look, check out the YZ250 and the YZ125 Monster Energy Yamaha Racing Editions. And for the next generation of riders, the YZ65, YZ85, and YZ85LW deliver big bike specs in a smaller package. Visit YamahaMotorsports.com. Find your Yamaha YZ and enter Victory Zone today.
Awesome. Okay. So thanks to Yamaha. Speaking of sponsors, did you get that?
I got it. I'm going.
Good. Just I'm checking on you, making sure you can produce this show because I feel like Matt's trying to ditch out. He's trying to ditch out so he doesn't have to come into Valley of the Dirt people. He thinks you kids can handle this whole thing. I don't think it's possible. But do you want to be a producer or a co-host?
I don't care.
You don't care.
Nope.
You're just here for the ride.
Heck yeah.
Okay, good. I like that enthusiasm. Hey, Dennis, good to see you. We're not too melted. It is hot. Mark Daniels is on board with Tech Talk Taco Tequila Tuesday. I saw the extra T in there. And Jim says we need to get Super Hunky in here. And 150th show, we talked about this. That would be an awesome guest. I got to figure out if I can figure out how to do that. That would be epic. Rick was when I was a kid, when I was younger than you guys, when I was reading magazines, Rick was the editor guy. Mm-hmm. And so having gone through that whole path of getting there and being that kind of guy for a while, different kind of guy, but same kind of guy. Read Monkey Butt. Read the book Monkey Butt. In fact, you should probably get a copy. If you are interested in motorcycle journalism at all, get a copy of Monkey Butt, and I'm working on Monkey Butt too. Slowly but surely working on this book. Victor says, 2016 KTM 690 with Rottweiler intake. Hard to start sometimes. What could be the culprit? Well, I don't think that changing the intake... I'm not familiar with the one on the 690, but it shouldn't really affect... It could make it a little bit leaner. And I don't know if you have a different ECU or anything's been done, but potentially having it being a little bit lean... Is it hard to start hot or cold or all the time? That's the question I have back. My 1090R asks on the Instagrams, are you going to the KTM rally in... And he named a state. Oh, it's announced, though. I think they did announce that the KTM rally is going to be in Idaho.
Yeah.
I heard that they put that information out there. Yeah, so our pre-adventure ride was with the guys from KTM.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were actually riding around and with those guys kind of scouting out some routes. So will I be going? I think I will be going. You going, Logan?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Possibly.
Possibly. Those are very definitive terms that help me make a decision. Okay, so thanks for all the Instagram guys for checking this out. If we have any other questions. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Do we miss that one? Make your RM sponsor banner easier to find on your site, says Chris Garrett 08.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Because I went on the Amazon and I could not find it.
Well, it's not on the Amazon. It's on the. It's a little thing. Hey, Chris, that's a great idea. Give Coop shit, okay?
God, no.
Coop, why don't I teach you how to get into the website on the backside, and you figure out how to make that thing
I keep
bigger.
Drop down link, yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you can make that bigger and it shows a noticeable increase on the site traffic, by the way, go to dirtbiketest.com. We have the Rocky Mountain MC banner link. It's kind of small. It's at the bottom of a lot of the stories. It says click here to shop. There is a banner up on top. If you use that, we get a little cut. Helps us out. So the deal I'll make with you is you fix that, Cooper. You guys got to be quiet over there.
Sorry.
You turn off the mic, or I'll try to angle mine another way if you're going to have little private discussions over there.
Well, they're producing, so.
I know they're producing something, not much. If you're watching this show, if whatever that increase is when you fix that, if there's a big increase that month, I will give you 100% of the increase.
No way.
Yeah,
I'm going to be telling my dad to order everything.
right. Only 1 month though.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you can fix it, because we kind of know Matt keeps track of this allegedly, and I trust him. If there's a big jump because you fixed those banners, made that banner thing easier for people to find,
Yep.
I'll give you the increase for that month. And Chris, because you made this idea, if you find that it's easier to reach out to me and I'll hook you up with something. So, anyways, rode with him a week ago and he got too hot and called it quits early.
Okay.
Oh wow! Hold on, wait.
Oh, God.
And I pointed out his front sprocket had 3 broken teeth. And you want to come over here and help me work on motorcycles?
Oh God, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Chris. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, well, everybody on the let's see. Oh, Victor says I told you about the links on the website. He's claiming it.
okay, yeah.
That's my Mexican buddy. Okay, Victor, we'll see you on the other side over on the YouTubes or are you banned on YouTube's and Facebook now so you can't get back to us? So awesome, everybody. Thanks for joining on those shows. Let's turn that thing off. I'm going to end this now. And then we have a lot of questions up in the chats. Chris Real wants to know how many miles was our ride? Oh, no.
1,200 miles.
How many miles did you spend lost on your ride? Ooh, good
One.
question.
One.
One. You're claiming one.
One.
I was never lost. Was I ever lost?
No, you weren't.
Yeah. Oh, that's not an by the way. That was an ah. That's signifying thinking.
Counter.
He-
Because
'cause
you guys are like,
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Well, he has to think. That's a good question. He's
I
actually
didn't- I didn't know a word. I didn't know a word that would stop the show enough for me to think
Hey, the
of
fact-
when I needed to speak.
the
of
fact
what-
that he's
what I needed.
making noise out of his mouth is a huge improvement.
I
So you can't count any more Logan ums.
can I count your uhs?
Yeah, just double down on those things. I don't know. I'm trying to keep this thing interesting. So, got a question there from Cameron Harris.
Curious about full wrap handguards. Recommendations on flex handlebars. Have you seen a BRP adapter that converts most guards, as well as Cycra handguards purpose built for the platform?
Hey, Jimmy, where
Yes.
can, if they wanted to call you, what do they do?
Oh, they call in on the hotline that Matic is running 775-318-5515. Logan should have said that. Logan, what's the hotline number?
775-318-5515.
That's right. I'm busy trying to
He loves flex handlebars. Most bikes he has wrap hand guards, and I don't know about
So-
BRP.
So Flex has their own set of handguards that are, I don't even know which ones they're modeled after, but BRP makes a really nice hanger that screws into the Flex part of the handlebar. And the reason why it has to be mounted there as opposed to someplace else is if you mounted it to a fixed position, then all of a sudden the bars would not flex like they're supposed to. So the handguard actually, the wraparound handguard has to be mounted into the pivot of the Flex bar. So there's a lot. I had some Cycra full wraparound guards on some of my Flex bars, so I've used those before. Usually with this BRP mount, but Flex also makes another mount. There's a couple different options for it, so I think that should be able to fix your issue. I think. Todd Kelly has a question.
I have a new to me 16 KTM 500 that has 240 hours. I just did a refresh on it, and I have started it a few times after reconnecting everything. I've noticed that the starter works fine, but there's a whine sound from the starter that my 19-300 doesn't have. It's a pretty pronounced sound. Could this be an early failure symptom?
So, a refresh. I don't know what a refresh is, and I don't know why you would do a refresh on a KTM 500 at 240 hours, because to me that's middle of life. I think 400 hours is where I would start considering refresh. And
Maybe
you're
Todd Kelly can call in and give you
yeah,
some more
call in,
details.
give me some details. The 19-300 is a two-stroke, so it makes a distinctly different sound. One goes ding, 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 two-stroke, and the other one's going bump, 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 bump. You know this, right, Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So that's. I didn't know that the starter motor, the 19-300, doesn't. Yeah, I don't know where the starter motor whine. It could be the Sprag gears inside there. Yes, Bob. Bob is raising his hand.
The starter motor whole concept is different on the two bikes,
Correct.
so they might make different noises.
Yeah. I don't know how you're comparing those two bikes as far as the noise that the starter motor makes, but if the sound the starter motor made between when you had it in the beginning and then did whatever a refresh was, which, you know, I hope it wasn't a complete top end and all that stuff, because you took out a bunch of really good brand new parts, I would suspect. But again, maybe you bought a used bike and you have no idea where it came from and you just wanted to be safe. So there's options for that as well. But I'm pretty sure, actually, I gave a guy a thumbs up on a comment today on the tubes of YouTubes or Facebooks or something like this. He actually said the same thing I say. It's like, hey, when you have a problem, what was the last thing you did to the motorcycle? It's usually me, the guy that worked on it, that caused that problem. So hopefully that answers your question, Todd. I think I'm trying to think of what would cause a different sound, a whine sound on that would be obvious, but I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to diagnose over the internets. But you know what? If you post that on one of the forums, you'll get 10 different answers from other people that won't say, I don't know, until I hear it. Yes, Bob?
Is it whining when the starter's activated, or is it whining when the engine?
That's a good question. So is it just when you're pushing on the starter it makes the whine noise? Or is it after it's running it continues on? Because that would make a big difference. Because I guess if something was done improperly and then the starter now was having to push an extra load, it was some more drag on it. So I don't know. Oh, he says just cosmetic wear items, nothing in the motor. So you never took the motor, you never opened the motor up, and it's always been doing this? So we'll find out. Okay, any other questions there?
Noah. Jewel.
Jewel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Jimmy, what tips/advice do you have for riding big bore singles down dry gravel roads with lots of loose gravel and very little traction?
Stay in balance. That's pretty much my answer for any time you're riding. But the gravel, you imagine, it's actually one of my least favorite traction surfaces is like loose gravel, because you just never know where the bike is going to go. You're imagine it's just like you're riding on marbles. So you're never really hooked up to the ground. And some of the rocks in the gravel might be embedded, and some of them are loose and they're going to move. And so you think about the weight of the motorcycle and its trajectory. It's going to constantly be moving around. And what most people do is, unfortunately, they tense up and they get scared and they try to get back, and the bike's going to shake. And you getting back and being tight on the bike, you become a pendulum and you don't allow the bike to move and, pivot like it should. And these are all things that center around the more in balance you are and the looser you are, you just let the bike do what it's going to do. Because if you could let go of the handlebars at that point and you had enough momentum, the bike would just go nice and straight. So, and it doesn't make any difference whether you're on a big bore single, a small bore single, a twin cylinder bike, a mini bike. All of the stuff will be pretty much the same. So I don't think the bike makes a thing. It's the traction is what the problem is. And balance and traction go hand in hand. We teach this in our schools. Check out the Better Rider podcast. I think we have an episode where we talk about this kind of stuff someplace in the archives. But we're, what are we, 8 episodes in on that one? 10, something? 9.
8.5, because 8 and 8.
8. There was an 8.5?
No, there's two eights.
Nate didn't count?
No, there's 2 8s.
I got to get Nate on the show. You know what would be awesome is to have Nate and Rick Simon. Crazy Nate and Rick. I would just get up and leave. I'd let those two guys tell stories. Hey, Jim. Okay, because Nate wants to come back. Nate wants to come and do Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. He really does. and then he can be uncensored. I don't have to clip him every once in a while when we start telling everybody how to ride. Nate was on the Better Rider podcast, one of our better ones. So, hey, George put up in the chat his 2 cents for the gravel question. I don't know what it is.
Jimmy Lewis Off-Road. It's a link to Jimmy Lewis Off-Road.
I know, but it's probably an article I wrote that explained that sort of thing. What does Robert Lambert want to know?
It's a comment.
Are you going to read it, or do I have to?
Okay. Got my bike done. 2022 Sierra 450X Stage 2 cam kit. San Diego Powerhouse ported head vortex from Twisted Development. Full FMF power core Mega Bomb.
Sounds awesome. And we're supposed to do what with that? Did we tell him
That's
to
my question.
get his bike done? Maybe he submitted that.
No, it's just a comment.
Is there a 2022? I was thinking old CRF 250X. So how does it work, Robert? That's the question. It sounds like a full race motor to me. So sounds good. Let's see. Reflex Racing has a possible option as well. You know, on that bike that you're going to work on tomorrow, there's Reflex Racing handlebars, and they actually have a handguard that has a small cable piece in it. So it uses an aluminum handguard that wraps around. At the very end, it goes into a cable. So it's not solid and rigid mounted. So that's actually a really good, Tommy, that's a great thing. And Todd says it was just cosmetic. We're still waiting on whether the motor runs. He should call in. That's a 775-318-5515. You can be on the Seat Concepts Hot Seat Hotline. We won't pick on you. What does Blake want to know? Oh, no, he did that. Let's see. Flex has handguards they sell for the Flex bars. Yeah, we mentioned that. Okay, we caught up on the questions there, Logan?
Yeah, online.
So, about this adventure bike ride we went on, that would be your first adventure bike ride?
That I was riding.
That
Yeah.
you were riding. Because what did you say you used to do? You used to go with Dad on the KLR 650.
Yep.
What was it called?
I would starfish. So he had a big Pelican case on the back of it, and that was my pillow. I would set it there and then sprawl out.
And go to sleep.
Yep. For miles and hours and...
Right. And I asked you, so where'd you guys ride? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Slept for most of it.
So was it hard to stay awake during the entire day while we were riding? Because I noticed you had we posted a picture on the last show of your preferred position in the motorhome.
Yes, you did.
Which that was actually a nicer one. I think I've got one where you're just flopped over. You're like I don't like if I did that, I would not be able to. I'd have so many cramps in my neck and pinched nerves. Yeah, you had a position going. I didn't really want to wake you up because I thought you might actually start talking and it'd scare me. So, hey, another thing you can do is go to Amazon.com through one of the links below us. I'm actually still working with those people to try to get paid like we're supposed to because they hijacked my bank account or something like that. I don't know what happened. Seat Concepts since 2009 has been making handmade seat and seat products that are made in the USA. The seat styles are available in a variety of options, low and tall heights, narrow to wide profiles. They have a proprietary foam is adjusted for each customer based on the riding style, weight, and firmness preference. They're designed and built for long-haul adventures or weekend warriors at the track. Actually, even race guys at the track. Ride the world with Seat Concepts. I just rode a small portion of the United States with Seat Concepts and on our product test tonight. I'm going to tell you about that. And it has nothing to do with the fact that they're a sponsor of the show because my butt was so happy that I want to tell you about it. Victor, links? What links? Well, Cooper's going to fix that. Right, Cooper?
Yep.
So 1,200 miles.
1,200 miles.
What broke? Everybody wants to know, like, what happened? What went wrong?
Mirror, muffler hanger. That was the not the muffler hanger. And skid plate.
I broke the skid plate.
Yep.
And you broke everything else.
Yeah.
My skid plate was an early version of a Black Dog, and I don't know if they've made some changes, but it broke one of the brackets that it hangs off of. And there's a good thing that it's real easy in the western United States to find barbed wire fence. Because we made barbed wire fence parts fixes, as well as with our cruise tool kits. Those little, at the Tour Tech Rally, they gave us the little, thank God they handed us those bags.
I also broke the blinker and a part of the fairing.
Okay, that's right. That was on the extreme. You rode the, we'll call it the A loop of the KTM Adventure Rider Rally
Yes.
on a bike with maybe 6 inches of ground clearance.
Maybe.
Have you ever seen a turtle when a turtle gets stuck on a rock?
Yeah, high centers.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah.
And when a bike of that weight with a man of your stature,
Yeah.
it basically decides where it's going to go. Because Logan on a small adventure bike with the KTM 390 is, and I think that's probably we were south of 400 pounds by a pretty good margin, and we rode loaded up
Oh, yeah.
on a ride where everybody else is all stripped down. We were all loaded up, and they're like, "Why are you doing that?" And it's like it was a test run for good reason. We wanted to check, make sure the bikes work. I wanted to make sure he was good with this. We were gonna, we're not gonna go ride 1,000 miles without practicing.
Yeah.
And so we could kind of do it in this controlled environment. And then they decided, hey, let's go on this super gnarly trail. It's like, we'll go. And so we went. We certainly were scratching over the top of these rocks. It was a single track trail, kind of an easier single track trail, but it was enough of a problem that you had an issue. And the best thing was Quinn Cody got off his bike,
Yes, he did.
knowing what was going to happen, knowing
Yep,
full well,
yes.
because he has KTM 390 experience.
Uh-huh.
He got off, and he pulled the phone out, and he got Logan in all of his glory, and that will be in the video.
Yes.
For sure. Logan warming up to adventure bike questions. So we got a caller.
Yes.
Can you bring him into the show? This is where the producer's going to make a technical jack up, I think.
He's on?
Caller. What's your name? Where are you from?
How's it going, Jimmy? This is Todd from Tucson, Arizona.
Hey, Todd. Welcome to the Seat Concepts Hot Seat Hotline. Thanks for calling in. We're going to get to the bottom of your problem the best we can. So our curiosity is, so you bought an older 500, and you're saying the starter makes a whine. Now, is this only when you start it, or does it continue on after you start the bike?
No, it's just initially right when you start it. It just does a real quick whine, just like a loud, kind of loud, high pitched little whing.
I think this is kind of normal. It's I'm thinking back to like what my KTM 500 sound like, and they do make kind of like right when you push the starter. So this is your first KTM electric start 4-stroke.
4-stroke, yeah. So I have the 300, and you don't hear the starter on that. You press that starter, and it just fires right up.
And it sounds like, especially the older ones, like the 2008 and stuff like that, the 300s. It sounded like gears were grinding, which in fact they were. When you start an older KTM electric start bike, the new ones are much better. But from my experience, is the 2-stroke sounds more geary, and the 500 has more of a high pitch whine, like you're describing. So
okay.
It
might be normal then.
I think it's normal. Do you know anybody else that has one of these bikes?
I do, but I never really thought to pay attention to it before.
Yeah,
Which was really odd to me, and in putting this bike all back together, it was one of those things that was like, hey, this sounds kind of weird, because it does kind of wind up, and it goes for about 2 seconds after it engages. It kind of winds, and you can kind of hear it.
but once it starts and it gets running, it goes away.
Fine.
Yeah, I think that's the normal sound. Now that I think the 350 actually does it more than the 500, right, Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's probably a normal sound. I was worried, like when you said you refreshed this bike, I was like worried. Okay, what did you do? Like how refreshed? Because I mean, there's some people that they buy a bike and they tear the whole thing apart and put it all back together when it was probably a perfectly working good bike. And I'll tell you that I wouldn't touch mine for like 400 or so hours if I knew that it didn't suck dirt and whatever. I would if I bought that bike and I bought, remember the one with the Red Bull graphics on it?
Yep.
The 500 that I bought. So I basically bought this bike a few years ago, and you could tell it was well used. It looked like the guy rode like Extreme Enduro on it because it has lots of scratches on it. But I started the bike up, listened to it, rode it down the street, just click, 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 click through the transmission. It shifted, it held all of its gears. It's good. I'm like, okay, I'll take this, but I want to do one thing. And the guy said, what? I said, I want to lay it over and pull the screen out of the motor, so the oil pickup screen. And so he said, yeah, sure. So we got the Allen wrench and popped that thing off and looked at it, because most people don't even know it's there, that one little filter. And I pulled it off, looked at it, it's clean, put it back in. I said, okay, I'm taking it. And I haven't done anything but ride that thing since then. Or actually, it's mostly a rental bike, but they're pretty indestructible. You're going to be pretty happy with the amount of time you can get on that motorcycle.
Very good, very good. Yeah, that's why I ended up going with this particular bike. It's replacing my 09, the carbureted 09 WR450. So I contacted you last week about the vibration. I was a little concerned about the vibrations going from the WR to the KTM 500. But I think I'll be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I think I think the vibrations are just different. Different bikes have different, and you're talking WRs and Yamaha.
Yeah.
And you're going from aluminum frame to steel frame.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things that sort of change, the feelings you're getting through the bike, and that's the thing, is having the chance to ride all these different bikes, and you notice this. It's like I'm probably less susceptible to vibration than most riders. I'm not that picky about it, so it has to be pretty bad for me to kind of pick up and notice it. But my KTM 390 vibrated at 4,600 RPMs, really bad. And I don't know if that was the skid plate, that's the harmonic frequency of the skid plate, or what. But well, awesome. Thank you for calling in and getting us to the bottom of that. But so KTM 500s have squeaky starters. Yeah.
Apparently this one does.
Compared to Yamahas.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my phone call. And don't just let front rotors be an automatic endo.
Front disc guards.
Front disc guards, yeah. Those can't be an automatic endo. I live out here, and I'm just waiting to ding it. I'm like, I got them on all my bikes, and I'm feeling them, and they're smooth as can be. And I'm like,
right.
Man, he's right. Like they're not doing anything.
You haven't used it yet. Oh, you need to just send it into the rocks like a Hail Mary and just go, I've got a disc guard. On my front. I don't need to worry about it.
Exactly.
Hey, I almost on the screen on the wall behind us, I almost mounted one up that I had actually it was on a Yamaha WR450. I had it as a test bike, and I think that was the bike that I said I felt it on. Remember, this is my big thing, is I put it on, and I think it's because the way it mounts. I looked at it today because we were going to put it up there, but it's Bulletproof Designs is a sponsor of the show, and they make front disc rotor guards, and I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, I got them on my bike.
I'm not going to stop hating. They're awesome if you want one on your bike, but I'm not going to stop hating on them, even though they're a sponsor.
What about the fork? What about the fork guard portion of it?
The lower
the fork shoe.
Correct. The thing that protects the fork guard from getting. Those are good. I actually when I rode the King of the Motos on George's bike, I actually put plastic Achirby's ones on there, and trust me, I use them. And they got pretty dinged up, and his forks are still in relatively good shape. But even in a race like that, I didn't whack the disc rotor. and I put the challenge out there, say, hey, send me a picture of your organically scratched up front disc rotor, and I'll bite my tongue for a little while, at least one show. I might even send you a T-shirt if it's real.
But
because
I live in the Rocks in Arizona, and I can vouch for you that all my bikes are bashed up everywhere else, but not in that particular spot.
Yeah, it's hard.
One more question before I get off with you.
Yes, sure.
I got this bike when I bought it. It was super motoed out, so it had the guy who I got it from had the dirt wheels on it, but he had the front supermoto rotor on it. I just I got like an aftermarket hanger that was supposed to be the stock one. Didn't have the little mount hole for the Speedo magnet, so I just ended up putting the Supermoto rotor on there anyways. And
well, for that you're going to need a disc guard. Yeah, that you're going to need a disc guard. You're probably going to have somebody machine you out the extra like 20 millimeters or something fin on it, because you will catch that on rocks.
Okay, so that's the drawback then.
The oversized rotors just tend to be, generally they're way too strong. I mean, they're too strong and too touchy for off-road, for most off-road applications.
Okay.
It's basically too much brake. But I think you'll find that, I mean, the problem is you start getting used to that oversized brake rotor, and then your standard brakes are going to feel pretty weak. Because most people, I think, they adapt to their bike. You know, you make a change to it, and you may not even notice it, but you adapt to it. If you start used to that brake and the light lever pressure and how much performance that thing will offer off-road, you go back to a stock one, all of a sudden you're going to go, it's mushy. And the reason I know this is from, riding bikes with bad brakes, or riding factory bikes that had really good brakes that were tuned properly, and then going back to like a quote a standard bike, or riding an old, this is the one thing that I had an XR600. It was such an awesome bike, and I didn't ride it for like a year and a half, 2 years, and I went back and I rode it. I loved everything about it. I loved the flexi chassis. I loved the power delivery. I could not get over the damn brakes because the front brake was so weak. It was so weak, and that thing was such a heavy pig. That's what made it handle and so comfy. It just wouldn't slow down. I'm like, I can't ride this anymore. I'm going to scare myself. My braking distances are all off. So, yeah, enjoy the disc brake rotor. Send me pictures when it gets scratched up.
All right, will do.
Awesome. Thanks for calling, Todd.
All right, take care, guys. Have a good night.
That is your Seat Concepts hot seat hotline?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. That's good. You woke up.
Yeah.
You're not like Bob over there who can't hear any of this, and he's just bored out of his skull, so he's reading a book from We Went Fast.
Pretty good book.
It's
A lot of pictures.
Grand Prix Motocross, GP Motocross from go to wewentfast.com. I know it's past Father's Day. You should have got your dad that book, but if you need the book, then you can buy it for yourself now. Greg Miller has a question.
I have a 2019 KTM 300 TPI with a Get ECU with fuel injector relocator kit.
That was like that girl that we rode with. Remember the girl we trail rode with?
Mm-hmm.
Remember I looked at the bike and I said, oh, look at all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kit. What is your thoughts on Get traction control knob?
So, Greg, I've never ridden one on a two-stroke, but I have on the four-stroke, and I wanted to change the way it worked. So, in other words, it did work, but it didn't work the way that I felt it should, and I would have to go back and look at notes to see exactly what I thought the changes were, because where I want traction control is at just when I open the throttle up, like the initial, like I want it to change we'll call it throttle control at the very beginning, and then I want traction control up at the upper RPMs. And it felt like this one on this bike that I rode, it felt like it didn't do anything for the initial part of I'll say the first eighth of a throttle, where I think it's really important. It did nothing there. And then it basically either muted or amplified the mid part of the power delivery. And then again, it did nothing for the top. And so I want it to work at the very bottom and the very top, not kind of in the middle. I mean, you can have it do something in the middle. So that's the way this one worked. And it was that rotary knob. In fact, it's still on my bike. The knob is actually still on my bike. And I don't have the ECU in there anymore because somebody needed it more than I did. And I wasn't sad to see it go away because I wanted to do some additional tuning, not just on the maps for the rideability, but also on the traction control. And I haven't played with it. I haven't had the opportunity to play with this stuff that much. But I think we really, I mean, to me, rideability is way more important than outright power. It always has been. And when that knob that's supposed to control rideability didn't do it for me, it didn't do it for me. So, okay. And how did that fuel injection relocation kit work for you? I'm curious about this because I've ridden a couple of them and I have an opinion. So I'm interested. I want to know, actually, two questions for you, Greg. Actually, give us a call.
Yeah. Greg can call in.
775-318-5515. I would love to ask a few questions about that kit because I'm curious, and I always kind of want to learn a little bit here and there. So, okay, here we got questions on the sheet. Hey, if you're looking for a set of handlebars and you want to make your bike more comfortable, or if you're a guy like me and you want to be able to ride a couple days in a row without sore wrist, Fasst Company makes Flex handlebars. That's FLEXX handlebars. I've been running them forever. They're on every one of my bikes. What was on my KTM 390, Logan?
Flex bars.
They're awesome. They make a big difference. And if you don't know, you don't know. And they're not just for old guys. I notice a lot of kids use them too, especially on their mini bikes. You don't want to know why?
Why?
Because on mini bikes, a lot of times the forks suck.
Yeah.
And flex handlebars make bad forks good. I've always said this. And for me, you can even have a good fork, and then I can run it stiffer that doesn't hurt my wrists. And then, hold on a second. That's the Husky bell I just threw at them. They think this is their show. It's like, next comes the Sprocket, Dirt Tricks, DDC. I mean, sorry, Dirt Tricks is the old company. It's the old one. This goes next like that. And this is not going to be so pretty. So, anyways, flex handlebars.
Yep.
They make Jimmy happy, unlike side discussions on the show inside the office here. Okay. Low count tonight, says Rick. Does that mean the producer's not pushing the button enough?
Bad producer, good.
Or
I think so.
is the is improving?
Yeah.
Well, we can always make that worse. So welcome to Jimmy's Tequila moment. We decided we were going to go high dollar tonight. So I pulled out the bottle of Cincuro. This is a very nice tequila. I know this because that's why it's halfway empty. I'm going to have a little bit, and Matt's running to find himself a shot glass because he's over 21 in here. You know what else I learned? You know how I like to learn something every day?
Yeah.
What did I learn at that store it was in northern Idaho.
No.
Remember we went to the store,
Yeah.
and what did I tell you to do? Because I had
You don't
Logan.
get something, you'll die.
No, I had Logan unload the basket.
The trash?
No, the basket. No, not the. No. When we were in the store, and remember the lady gave us the horrible look.
Oh. Yeah.
Talking
yeah.
to the microphone.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah.
This is a show where you.
So, I was putting all the groceries on the thing, and I left the beer because you're not allowed to touch those in stores or at home.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, you're.
Oh, you're not allowed to touch them at home? Have I had you pour this stuff for me here before? Are we breaking laws?
On the show, yeah.
On the show. Are we
On the show.
Is that illegal?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Frowned upon. Definitely frowned upon. Don't know if it's illegal.
This show with illegal activity on here. So, okay, here I'm pouring Matt's here. I see we got a caller. We're going to get right to you. So I will refrain from doing that because I don't like to do illegal things that much. Good job, Matt. We didn't even say Husaberg.
You just did.
I know, but after you rang the bell. But anyways, I learned that I'm not allowed to have my kid who I have
Rent a kid.
prented.
Rent a kid.
Rent a kid. Yeah, rent a kid. You know, another real interesting thing was that I didn't know is we went to these small towns in Nevada, and they had little tiny small bars,
Yeah.
and we rolled in there, and at the first one, we walked in there, and my goal was, and you were way too fast in that section, I wanted to be in there drinking a beer before you actually walked in the door. But I was up there sitting at the bar, and I just barely got my beer.
Yeah.
And there was a whole bunch of people. And this is good. There's a bunch of people at the bar, and you walked in, and they knew we were together because we had motorcycle gear on.
Yeah.
And you just walked in, and you went and sat down at the table. And I said, no, you can't sit up here. And I was videoing at the time. I was videoing my beer, and I'm like, you can't sit up here. And all the people at the bar are like looking at me, and they're going, hey, is he? Are you going to sit with him? And I'm like,
It's not
no.
mine.
Yeah, I'm like, and they're like, uh-oh, you're gonna give me the you're kind of a dick, and it was kind of, they said, so is that your son? And I said, no, no, he's my co-host on my podcast. I'm like, oh, and then they what? And they go, well, don't you want to sit with him? I go, no, he doesn't talk. This led to a lot of confusion in the thing. So, anyways, let's go to the hot seat hotline brought to you by Seat Concepts. Do we have Greg on the phone? Greg?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We are doing excellent. So you're going to give us a little bit of fill-in on your KTM 300 with the Get ECU and the TPI fuel injector relocation kit.
Yes.
So
what was the question?
well, you asked the question of the traction control. Now, my question is, so what
Yes.
prompted you? What prompted you just in the beginning? What prompted you to get that kit and put it on that bike?
The more power or more usable power?
Okay, which one? More power or more usable power?
More usable power.
Okay. So I'm going to ask a question. Are you more than 220 pounds?
No.
Okay. Because the biggest complaint I hear about those bikes in general is that riders don't feel like they get the throttle response they want. Am I going down the right track here?
Yes.
And so what did you come off? What was your bike previous to this?
A YZ450F.
Hey, does he get an counter?
I was thinking about that. Can I do it?
No. just trying to point out we're not all perfect here. So a YZ450F. So for sure, the 4-strokes today are so stinking responsive. And I can see where a 2-stroke, especially the KTM, the fuel injected one, would feel a little lazy on the throttle. So you wanted more instantaneous and snappy power.
Correct.
Did you get that with that kit?
I felt like it helped out.
Okay. I'm going to tell you that I got to ride the new KTM 300 with the
Okay.
we'll call it fuel injection relocation kit made by KTM.
Mm-hmm.
And because now they're putting them, upstream and downstream in the butterfly valve, and it does make a big difference. That bike was literally, don't ride one. Logan, are you playing with toys again?
I'm trying to build a diagram of my crash.
Oh, okay. Are we going to talk about your crash?
Yeah, we better hurry because we got 4 minutes.
Well, we got as much time as we want. It's my show.
That's true.
So, anyways, Logan was getting bored there, so I had to keep his attention span there. The changing the position of the fuel injectors for sure can have an effect on performance, and I think that KTM sort of stumbled upon that TPI as it was the best way to make it work. And I don't think it's the best, we'll call it snappy or aggressive throttle response. And I don't even know that you can get as much as what most people would probably want. I like it for trail riding and stuff. And I just learned, for me, to turn the throttle a little bit farther and, sort of use the clutch if I need that sort of throttle response. But
Okay.
I've
I
ridden.
just didn't know if the... Go ahead.
I've ridden a couple of clients' bikes that have come to our school, and then I watched. So we rode with a girl that had that on her bike. And it was kind of funny because she had a lot of stuff on the bike, and I get really concerned when I show up to ride with people I don't know. We were kind of riding with friends of a friend's, and I see this bike, and it's got a lot of the stuff on it, if not all the stuff on it, and it just kind of concerns me because I go, uh-oh. There's a lot of potential for problems there. When I see a well-used stock bike, I'm like, okay, this thing's run forever. When I see one that's been modified, I'm a little concerned because even I can modify the crap out of something into something that becomes unreliable or difficult. So, did you notice that her bike, Logan? Did you notice that her bike did a lot of wheel spinning?
It did.
Extra wheel spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was part of the thing because every time, and then what I was saying, every time I've ridden, and I've ridden 3 different bikes with that on it. it felt like I don't want to say a poorly jetted carburetor, a mediumly well jetted carburetor. Mediumly well? It wasn't. Yeah. The problem with the TPI now is it's so crisp and so good, and it's always like too lean. In general, it feels too lean. We're used to every time you crack the throttle, you get this little rich, and then bang, throttle response and acceleration. And it felt like the relocation kit sort of gave enough of that back to where it didn't increase what I would call like throttle response. It gave it a little bit of bad carburation, so it went bull wow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
it definitely spins the tire more.
Yeah, and that's for the way I ride and the way I want to ride a KTM 300. That's not what I really want. I wouldn't mind getting a little more throttle response, and even on my personal bike, I don't even have the ECU, the interrupter, what do we call it?
Traction control?
Well, actually, we got to reach out to that company, one of those companies that makes those things. Basically, the Dobeck tuner, the JD Jetting tuner, which I had on George's bike, which I was able to fiddle around when I started changing mufflers and everything. I found that I could get pretty good with that as far as kind of picking up or enhancing the throttle response, more so than, I don't know what the Get ECU. And do you have the ability to adjust the maps via the Wi-Fi stuff?
Yes.
So there's probably a ton of potential there that you could play around with, you know, the fact that you can, you know, make it richer and leaner. And the way to think about that in my world is when you're playing with fueling, when you add fuel, when you richen it, think about it as getting more traction. Like the more fuel, up to a certain point, the more fuel you drop into it, the more traction you get, the less. If you take fuel away, it seems like the tire spins up easier. So if you're saying it spins up, you might want to try adding fuel. And then I don't know on that one. I think you can play with the ignition as well.
You can. Which way would you go with the ignition?
So ignition, think about it as throttle response. So think about when you advance the ignition, it would give you more throttle response. And when you retard the ignition, and I say that word affectionately, when you retard the ignition, you decrease the throttle response. So it's this blend of those two things. I typically play with the fuel first. In other words, places where it seems like it spins up, I tend to richen it a little bit. And then places where it feels sluggish, I lean it. Then if I want to make fine tuning, I go in and I'm very particular about the throttle position. And you can make these adjustments in throttle position, you know, because you can adjust it in the position. Use the advance at those points to fine tune it, if you know what I mean.
Okay, that's good to try. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, and play with it, and if you, especially with the throttle position, take like a white paint pen and put a mark on the throttle housing and then a mark on the grip, and put them in, you know, basically 4 positions, like 25% positions, so you can kind of look and see. And you'll be surprised that your throttle position isn't exactly what you think it is sometimes. And that'll help you a little bit better when you're saying, hey, I need to pick it up here, or I need to deaden it a little bit here. And then, because the RPM, people are pretty good with RPM. If you have the ability to use a tack just to kind of see where 4,000 and 6,000, and believe it or not, when you're riding those KTM 300s, you're riding at 3 and 4 and 5,000 RPMs, not 7, 8, and 9 where everybody thinks they are. And so you just start thinking about everything in a little bit of a graph.
How much would you add fuel? Would you go 5%, 10%, 15%?
I don't think they give you. I don't know what the range is on the Get one. I know on the Yamaha Power Tuner app, which is very, 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 very similar to the Get app, I think they let you go maybe 6%. They go 6% richer and 2% or 3% leaner, so they're pretty careful about this because they don't want you to be able to, mess the bike up. But I would do it if you're able to do it in a real controlled environment. What I would do is I would actually pick a zone and just take a whole zone and lean it out like -3, and then just ride it real quick and feel it, and then take it and richen it up to like +5, and see how much you notice it. And if you don't notice it that much, then maybe try leaning it out a little bit more and then riching it up and going back and forth, and see how much you can feel, and then see how much of a difference it makes. Because kind of every bike, every different machine is a little bit different in how they respond. But this is kind of like how I would learn and test stuff if I hadn't done it before. And a lot of times, you can have a couple different, very different maps, and then if you have the map select switch, you can go from one to the other, and then put a lean map in, put a rich map in, and try those two, and then put a advanced ignition map in, and then a retard ignition map in, and switch between those two, and so you can kind of feel it and see what it does, so you get an idea, and then that'll help you understand the range.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, hopefully that helped you out. Get back to us when you get it figured out, and if you can take a picture of your modified map and where it's at and send it in, and then I can, sometimes I can look at that and see where you're going with it, and I'll have a better idea of be able to ask questions back to come to some sort of a solution. So just remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuel is traction. More traction, more fuel. Less traction, less fuel. Ignition is throttle response. More advanced is more throttle response. And this is up to a point. And that's one thing when you're testing this stuff, maybe go overboard with fuel and feel all of a sudden where more fuel makes the bike just dead sluggish, or you get it to the point where it's so lean that it gets really good traction because the motor doesn't want to accelerate. And if you only do it in small bursts, you're not like riding the thing for a long time that way. It's not going to hurt anything in a short time.
Okay.
So, well, thank you for calling in on this Seat Concepts Hot Seat Hotline.
Thank you.
And we will hope to hear back from you soon.
Will do.
Okay, take care.
Have a great day. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Okay, with that, I think we're going to go into our commercial breaks. How was that tequila, Matt?
Very good. I haven't even finished it yet. I've been savoring it.
No, it's not this isn't like slug it down. This is sipping stuff.
No, I'm still
Very
sipping
nice.
it.
Yeah, good.
So,
Anyways, Logan, do you have anything else? Did you fix that mic thing? Whatever it is?
I was just passing time.
You're going to get fired for that.
Yeah.
Fired from the co-host position. Do you have anything else you want to tell anybody about our adventure ride?
Dirty shirt.
Oh, yeah. What about the dirty shirt?
So,
That's a free dirt bike test shirt
yes.
you got, so you're not respecting things you get for free.
I was
Okay.
using it.
Okay.
And
To wipe the muffler off.
the muffler was the problem.
Oh.
Kind of. Well, part of it.
Oh.
The bag, the big bag that carried all my clothes and all my personal stuff and all tools, and it rolled off the back of the.
So because I rushed you to get ready in the morning.
Yes. Because I.
Remember,
Illy-
blame other people for all your problems.
Yeah, Jimmy rushed me. So the bag rolled off the back of the bike, but was still attached to the bike, so it went under and into the wheel and burnt or put a hole in the bottom of it.
Yeah, with a tire going at 30 miles an hour, rubbing on a.
And this was part of the rub spot.
Oh.
Yeah.
You
And,
tore
and also the back.
Yeah, stand up and turn around. Yeah. So, yeah, Logan had a little snafu with the. It's a good thing you weren't wearing that.
I was not.
When it happened. Yeah, you burned a little hole in his bag. I forgot about it. We didn't mention that in the things that went wrong. But
Nope.
your rock straps held tight. The bag just managed to weasel its way out.
Yes.
And yeah, he burned a nice hole in the bag. We used his towel to patch the hole and did what do we call it? Capture the bags. You have to make sure those straps capture the bags. And
it was too well. It was captured in one direction, it was captured in this direction,
not
but
side
not
to side.
all directions.
Yeah. So I actually had a bag fall off as well.
Yes.
You knew this. Mine luckily jettisoned itself completely. Mine would just like slowly, like a hot dog sliding out of the bun, you know, just like slowly work its way out. And then I had to find a new way of capturing my bag. But
Yeah, you didn't have the
this is the stuff
360.
Stuff you learned. Yes, Bob.
Did the flailing bag take out the muffler and the muffler bracket?
There's some discussion about where
I want to see that video.
of you tagging the rock.
Yeah.
I don't
'Cause
think
I don't think
it
it
was
hit.
I think it was it doesn't have scratches on it, the muffler. I think when
I
you
don't think
picked
it
the
fit.
bike up, it somehow got pinched or something. Quinn saw it and he said he really hit that muffler. By the way, $700 muffler, Logan.
Oh.
$700. You thought my wheels were expensive for what they do? Like $700
Well,
muffler,
isn't the
and
muffler
Logan.
fine?
It looks pretty fine to me. I'm not too worried about it.
It's the hanger that's.
The hanger's just broken. It's a little $2 piece. I ordered parts for your bike today, and I didn't look at what that cost. I actually should have ordered that damn piece. I was probably just weld it because, you know, come to think of it, my KTM 1090 breaks its muffler bracket quite a bit as well. So, okay, with that, we're going to take a break. Enjoy our commercials, please. Support those that support this show because the information we're giving you is worth what you're paying for it. So, take it away.
What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. What is the Taco Touch? It's the best service in the industry. Virtually 24/7 tech support via email or text, and it's like having a dirt bike doctor on call every day of the year, helping you fix your bike or recommend parts or setups for you. If you've ever received an order from us, you know that the Taco Touch extends to our fulfillment, and our orders come with the coolest stickers that you've ever had, buying parts from anybody before, and a handful of root beer barrel candies. All of our Taco Moto Co. branded components come with a no questions asked lifetime warranty, and we'll even extend out the warranty of other manufacturers, OEM, and aftermarket parts where we can, sometimes for life. We test and tune endlessly and exhaustively and obsessively. We're trying to destroy everything that we can before you get your hands on it to look for weaknesses and to improve it, or to make recommendations to the manufacturer. And if it's something that doesn't meet grade, then we don't offer it on the store. Everything that we carry is something that we have personally used, tested, and ridden, and raced, and knows meets the high taco touch demanding standard. Go out and get some adventure.
Since 2009, Seat Concepts has been dedicated to making the best aftermarket seats. More comfort, more grip, more riding. For 10 years, we've continued to raise the bar. Innovation and American craftsmanship make Seat Concepts the world-leading manufacturer of power sports seats.
Right again?
Are we live again?
Now we're live again.
That's good that we're live. Welcome back to the show. This is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, brought to you by Yamaha, Taco Moto, Scott Sports, Climb, DDC, Trail Tech, Fasst Company, Seat Concepts, and Bulletproof Designs. We have shut down the Seat Concepts hot seat hotline. That's only for the first hour of the show. That's because I want to make sure that I can make sounds like this. Yeah. Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Boy.
I got
I'm
the
back
voice
in my
control.
producer chair.
And what's the segment called that we're going to do, Cooper?
Roosterando.
Roosterando. We have a new logo. Can you check out the logo? Can you just zoom that logo, make it big
Oh yeah,
for a second?
I can make it big.
Yeah, because it's better than my face. Look at this. This is Roosterando, brought to you by Taco Moto. So if you're watching this show, it's on a video. You see this. But if you're listening, we just put our new logo, designed by Jerry.
Yep.
Jerry
Thank you,
over
Jerry.
at Fuck You Racing. He's a master of logos. If you need a simple design, if you need a complex design, you just give Jerry an idea and let him run with it. He came up with this one. We actually have another one, but this one we're going to get to Taco Mike, so he can probably make some stickers out of it or something. He'll probably start dropping Roosterando stickers in all of his clients' thing, especially if they use the certificate that they won on this show for $100. So the way this works is you send in a picture of your bike. That's important. We like quality pictures, not just ones that look like you shot on your phone when you had to kick the cat out of the way and move the kitty litter box and then take the cat food that's sitting on the seat of your motorcycle off the seat of your motorcycle and then shoot a picture of your bike. We like to see them in their environment, nice places, quality photos.
And make sure you say what kind of bike it is.
Right, because somebody sent me one today, and he sent a picture of his bike, and then I know this is how he's trying to get to me. He sent a picture of two babes in red, white, and blue bikini bottoms, like that was going to do it for me. And I'm
He's
like,
really trying to win.
it's to be determined later. And it was like, okay, what make I can't even concentrate on the damn bike, and he didn't even put the make, model, year, any of that stuff, or his modification. It was just two babes in red, white, and blue bikini bottoms.
The mods were the girls.
Right. So, yeah. So we're gonna get into this. You send your photo. We talk about your bike. We do a psychological profile of you based on the all the information. Who are we starting with?
Steven. I don't even want to try to pronounce that last name.
Looks like
but you
shit
got
to
it.
me. Shift?
Skuhif?
Shift.
Oh.
I was reading from a long distance. Sorry, Steven. Steven, Shift.
He is saying, big fan, here is my desert long distance bike. I will try to list all that I have added and done to this bike. It is a 2017 Husky 501 FE with a little over 5,000 miles. Nitro Moose's front and back, X30s, Baja Designs XL headlight, Moto minded mount.
Okay, hold on. We have to go into something. Is Heather still in the chat? This is my wife, Heather. Heather, she's a quite the photographer, and I know she was on here. She probably got bored with the commercials and started watching more photography shows. There is one serious fatal flaw with this photo, is from a photography perspective.
The shadow.
It's the lighting.
Really?
It's backlit.
It's backlit, and he didn't expose for the side of his bike. So I'm looking at a very dark bike in a nice area. I want to ride that because that dirt
looks fun.
As long as it's not frozen, as long as the ground is not frozen, that would be really fun riding because there's a little bit of moisture in there. I'm going with
Well, look at his back tire.
I'm kind of going with the eastern middle Utah is where I'm guessing. That's what it looks like to me. It looks pretty nice. But okay, keep going with the bike.
Sycra handguards, ARC Melon, front brake lever, Enduro engineering rear brake thingy, Scott sub mount with Scott.
I like that he has a thingy on his bike.
Dampener, yeah, that's what he said too. Samco coolant lines, DDC sprockets, fastaway pegs, Vortex ECU, 3.1 gallon, a Cherry Beast tank, TM design skid plate, TM chain guides, TM shark fin, helmet light wiring, removed a bunch of stuff that get in the way, turn signals, removed the EPA stuff, some light suspension work done, oil and different springs. I am probably missing a couple of things. I only had stuff I need. Currently in the service bay.
So the good thing about this bike is that list is a solid list of stuff that he needs for his riding, for all of his
He's watching too.
things. Oh,
He's in
good.
the chat.
That's it is nice. He's already lobbying.
Yep.
Lobbying to get that's I tell you what, if you're in the chat,
It bodes well for you.
it does bode well for you. You know how people have a hard time saying things to your face?
Yeah.
It's like, how much harder is it for me to roost this bike now that I know that he's watching me?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Roosterando. Roost.
Yeah.
This is total roost. He
The,
says
the picture holds it back though.
the photography skills are horrible. This isn't called make a nice photo of your motorcycle and then we'll comment on your photography skills. That's why I wanted to call my wife in to see if she was going to
It's a lot
pick up
better
on this.
than others though.
Oh man, it's a nice location.
Yeah.
But throw a little fill flash in there, bro. That'll help you out a bunch. Roost.
Maybe paint with light.
Paint with light.
I don't know if it would work on that situation, but
No,
that's too high on the roost board. No. Yeah, there we go.
If it had a bigger tank, it would roost a little bit more.
Yeah, but not like above everything else except the Husaberg roost.
Straight off, he went with long distance bike, and it needs a bigger tank to go longer distances. When you say long distance,
Yeah.
like our KTM 390s, it had a 4.2 gallon tanks, and it was really interesting to watch Logan panic when the fuel light started flashing and coming on.
Mm-hmm.
And I, because I've ridden those a lot, I know full well we had over 100 miles of fuel range.
Yeah.
And his wrist, which is pretty smart, just went. Nrr. You just slowed her right down. He was worried about using too much fuel.
Also, my gloves would slip.
Oh, his gloves would slip. All right. Couldn't hang on to the throttle hard enough. Actually, you know what else happened to Logan? The wind blew him around, and he got scared.
I don't blame him.
In the tent or on the bike?
Both. Oh.
Okay, next bike.
It's from Robert Nantisha.
How did I knew? Was he in before? Did he?
He submitted two bikes, and this was the second bike.
The second bike, because he had the Husky 601.
Mm-hmm. He submitted these a while.
replica.
Yeah, he submitted them a while ago, and I forgot about his second bike.
Okay, no worries. We'll let it run. I actually wanted. I know he has a lot of cool vintage bikes, older stuff. He's a Husky guy, by the way. Like whether it's Swedish or Italian, I think mostly Italian and Austrian. But go ahead. What do we got here?
It's a GP Motorcycles, National City Motorcycles. P3 pipe deflector, Michelin Enduro mediums with Michelin bib mousses, balance wheels, seat concepts, zip tie shark fin, FMF gnarly, 2.1 TI muffler, AXP skid plate, ARC melon levers, CF fork covers, swing arm covers, OEM open handguards, Discover Enduro fork foot guard, suspension 101, high-low speed comp adjustable.
Whoa. Fork foot guards.
Yeah, Enduro fork foot guards.
Enduro Engineering?
Discover Enduro.
Discover Enduro.
Yep.
So that's those parts that we were talking about that protect your fork lowers, I believe. Or are they the whole? Or is it the whole? Are those wraparound? The wraparound fork guards so the rocks don't fly up and hit the the thing. Is the photo up in the chat there, Matt?
Your photo has seemed to have
Matt's-
disappeared. I'm
Matt
trying to
lost the photo.
Ooh.
Whoa.
'Cause I thought I had. Thought I had it, but I can't find it in my folders here.
Yeah. Come on, Matt. I thought you were on top of this. Like Cooper was doing a pretty
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. I didn't rename it. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Was I actually
Here we
doing pretty
go.
good though?
I thought you did okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It was as good as you could
There's
have
always,
been for your
there's always
first time.
room for improvement. Now we have the picture of the
Yeah.
bike. So the
it was-
fork.
yeah.
Run me that fork thing again.
Discover Enduro fork foot guards.
Fork foot guards. I think those are the ones that wrap around the bottom of the fork. But
Yeah.
does he have the more wrap around? Because I have those on one of my bikes where it's the fork shield that bolts onto the lowers to protect the slider, and it keeps the rocks from flying off of the tire and putting a ding in the fork leg. And anyways, I thought that's might have been what it was, but
I don't see.
I don't
anything like that.
see it on there because he also
Yeah.
talks about swing arm protectors, but I think he has them on there just a sticker on it so we can't see
Oh, it might be because it's a little black on it.
on the swing arm. Yeah,
Yeah.
It has a pretty good scratches in that pipe protector. Okay, keep going down the list.
Suspension 101, high-low speed comp adjustable base valves, flow foot pegs, Kuber ECU,
Mm-hmm.
V-Force 4, zip tie brake reservoir, extender, various blue alloy bits, fast away.
Alloy. Okay.
Alloy there.
Alloy there. Yeah, Cooper made up a new word tonight. Here we go. Put that on the list.
Oh,
Alloy. Alloy, mate. Okay.
Hey, to
Don't
be
worry, I
fair,
got a
it's
list.
kind of like the one where it's like he ran out of space, so okay.
Okay. You know what? I got to side with him on this. It was across the margin on the page. So there may be something. What were you going to say besides alloy?
Yeah, probably just alloy. I don't know.
Okay.
How do you say it?
So if you have a billet thing,
Yeah.
you have a nice piece of billet alloy aluminum.
That's not helping me.
That's good. We don't want to help you here. We're just going to make fun.
It's got Fastaway rear brake spring, XC gear.
Fastway or Fasst Company?
Fastway.
Fastway, okay.
Yep. XC gear Mako bar mount.
Right.
Oh, vacuum. Did I say that right?
You said it safely.
Okay.
Because you probably would want to say something different to me, but that's the way.
Stickers and grip donuts. 100% run ripper. And Genius race bike. Robert Facu Racing San Diego crew. And TMD slide and glide full kit. Bulletproof designs, chain guide support, throttle positioning guide. All items put to good use.
So, Robert.
Oh, he's in the chat too.
I know, he's in there. I'm just going to disqualify you from winning tonight because did he win last time? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I
He
can't
might
remember.
have with his other one.
Yeah, his other bike was good. This is actually here's the interesting thing about this bike, and this you're going to learn a little bit about me by me saying this. Almost everything he uses on this bike is kind of different than what I would use. Like a lot of his products of choice are kind of different than the companies or the products that I would use.
Like the brands or
Yes,
just-
somewhat the brands or sometimes just kind of the things. You know, certain things, there's some stuff that's the same, but some stuff that's different. And this is where this whole aftermarket modification, customization comes into play. Did he say he had a seat cover on there?
No, he's saying he
Yes,
won
he
last time
won,
with his
yeah.
other bike.
Oh, he won.
Yeah,
Okay.
with his other bike.
Yeah,
His
we're
TE610.
we're DQing him then straight away.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean this bike doesn't Roosterando. This is still up for debate. The fact that he's in the chat room gives him a 30% more roost factor, but the fact that I'm willing to take the heat on since he's not on my team with the sponsors, he could go to the endo department real quick.
Yeah, that's. I didn't
But-
hear any.
What kind of seat is on this thing? I can see the little
Is it
logo.
a-
on. Is it a seat concept seat?
See concepts. He just put it in the chat.
See?
Oh, okay. So he's
that
got one.
that just went. This bike just went.
oh yeah,
right
he
here.
did. He said it too.
Oh, I missed it. It just went just roosted right up into the roost zone because that's a sweet seat. But anyways, this is where a lot of these Bulletproof Designs chain guard. I saw that too. It's good. He's got some stuff, but some of this, like just overall, there's some things that are a little bit different than what I normally use. And most people, they get all defensive or whatever. It's like, this makes me want to ride his bike to see what his setup is. I just want to try. I just want to try it. You know, like, hey, like I do this with my bikes all the time. I let people, hey, take a ride in this. Tell me what you think, because I'm trying to get some feedback and just see where they're at. But it's a pretty nice Chariot. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it.
I like KTM's better.
Yeah.
No, Roost it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's too high.
Yeah.
It's a medium Roost. Give it back to me and get working on the next one.
All right. This next one's Charlie McLanum.
Oh boy. Where's the photo? I need to look at this. Okay, he's got a nice... And Robert, I don't want pictures of your bike in your backyard unless there's girls with bikinis in there. Okay?
Is it Charlie McCollum?
Yep, Charlie.
Charlie McCollum?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good.
It's a 2021 500 EXC-F with all Takamoto mods. Seat concept seat, get ECU.
Straight away, I can look at this photo based on the angle he shot this.
Yep.
He's a tailpipe man. He's a tailpipe man. And most tailpipe men I'm a little scared of. You know, I just like kind of step back. But he's got the quiet insert in there.
Oh, does he?
I can see it.
It's a Graves muffler.
Graves.
Okay, Graves.
Graves?
Yeah.
It's just like...
Don't add that.
Just like
don't add that to the list?
Yeah.
Alloy.
Alloy? Alloy, mate.
Washudala.
Hey, we got the segment. It's called Say It with Cooper.
Oh, God.
It's going to be the best one ever. We're going to have people in the chat like type in words and you have to say them. They have to be motorcycle related words. Don't do it yet. Start thinking of your words. That the fact that you've got Alloy a little bit off makes this segment seem like it's going to be so much better.
What was it?
Alloy.
Alloy.
Oh, isn't that like some like, is it like the aloe oil?
Like aloe oil?
Yeah. What you put on like after sunburns? You know what I'm talking
about? Oh, boy. Cooper.
No, keep going. Just get the shovel. Here, you're using a normal shovel. Let me get you a snow shovel.
No, he's using an excavator.
That's aloe. Aloe vera?
That's
like
the same
aloe
thing
vera?
you said.
Aloe vera.
What?
No, alloy.
We said alloy.
Alloy?
Alloy.
Hey, are there any alloy parts on this bike? Billet alloy?
I don't see any.
Oh no. All right, back to the bike.
IMS 3-gallon tank, moto-minded headlight and dash, golden tires, fatty Scott rear disc guard.
Fatty Scott rear disc guard?
Yes.
You called it a fatty?
No, it's two different things. He's got tires, I think, GT333.
Oh, you didn't put the comma in the right spot.
Yeah.
GT33 fatty. Okay, then a Scott's. I was going because I know the Scott's disc guards. Those are what I've ran on my bikes like since 1990. 1990. I've been running those things on my bikes. And they are a little bit bigger and beefier. And let me tell you, I have those things that look like somebody just took a grinding wheel to them. But it wasn't a grinding wheel, just endless rocks. Unlike the front disc guards. But, okay, so it's interesting they call it a fatty one. I didn't know they called it. But it's a little bit burlier than some of the others. Like Robert had the zip tie one, which is a little bit more light and narrow, agile.
The rear disc guard?
Rear disc guard, yeah.
No, it's not called the fatty. The tires, I think golden tires are the fatty.
Right.
Okay.
Right, but you said golden tire, and then you just glazed over the big, long technical thing, which I understand.
Yeah.
And then you said Fatty Scott's disc guard, made of aluminum alloy.
All right, it's got a molecule skid plate, P3 pipe guard, BRP/Scott submount, Takamoto titty tail. What did I say wrong?
It's okay. Takamoto titty tail.
Oh, God.
Say it with Cooper.
And fork wrap LED blinkers. God.
It's okay.
Enduro plate license plate holder, resprung for my weight, bulletproof designs, radiator guards, and swing arm tab saver, BRP chain guide, reflex racing hand guards, double take trail mirror, giant loop of all the bags, etc. Absolutely love this bike. Avid listener to the podcast. Keep up the great work.
The ass kissing isn't going to get you very far here, but the titty tail will.
What is it?
This thing roosts.
Yep.
Anything that has a titty tail on it, it's got to be good. See why we replaced you, Logan? Like, yeah, not talking. Not talking is one thing, but creating new verbiage is pronunciation better. Oh, awesome! This is
That thing
classic.
looks dope.
This guy got the lighting right. He got the photo. He backlit.
This is Todd Kelly.
Yeah, Todd. Wow, good job, Todd.
Is this his bike?
Well, his camera actually exposed for the backlit photo. So this is Todd's bike that.
Oh, this one. Oh, that's a good one.
That thing looks dope.
So he was talking about. Okay, so he was asking questions about his new 4-stroke, and he was comparing the sound of the starter to this one. I think. He's in the chat also. Was the last guy in the chat? The guy with the titty tail?
What was his name? Charlie?
Charlie?
I didn't see his name.
No, I didn't see him
didn't pop
pop
up?
up.
Okay.
The last two were, though. This is a 19 KTM 300 XCW's 6 days. It's got stock exhaust.
Okay, I'm just going to tell everybody that's listening to this thing. By the way, like, the last one, like I said, the guy was a tail man. I pulled that right away. I didn't know he was a titty tail man. That's a whole nother level. I should have known this when I looked at it, but I overlooked it. But we're looking at something here. That disc guard is shining.
Yeah.
It's a bright orange, and I can tell it's a Bulletproof Designs disc guard.
Yeah.
Front disc rotor guard matched up against he's got the bright orange disc guard matched up against blue hubs. Anodized blue. They're alloy too, by the way. The hubs, which is pretty good. So if you don't get to watch this show and you're wondering like why we list all the things off it, so you can visually think about these things, or you hear it if you're listening to it in a podcast and you see all these things that people do to their bike. But if you ever get the chance to watch, if you're listening to the podcast, you get a chance to like kind of scroll through. We actually should on the website. We should have a post of, the Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
The bikes that won.
The bikes that were in there, so that people can come and take a look at them. Because you might hear about them and like, what were they talking about?
Yeah, we could like schedule out the posts and stuff.
Yeah,
So that way it
or
gets-
just put them. On Monday we say, hey, these are the bikes we talked about in Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. These are the Roosterando segments. It'll just be like a segment on the thing. It's just more work for you. It's a great idea that I had, and it's more work for you. Or you can get one of these lemming kids.
We need to get. Well, honestly, I kind of
indentured. Get one of these indentured servants.
Well, we already got one who did send me a resume.
Oh,
yeah,
John Sermon.
yeah.
John,
Send me a resume. I was impressed.
We have a job for you.
Yeah.
He's got to post up the bike and the list, put it on the website, and then so because I wouldn't want to have to listen to this show and then have to go watch this show to see the photo. That'd be horrible. Like watching this show, right?
I guess so.
I don't know. I think this show's pretty good when
Yeah, it's
when we
pretty-
got the titty tails coming
Titty
in.
tails coming out left and right. Yeah.
Oh.
He's good. Yeah. Didn't even know it. So we're talking about these bikes, and this will be a good way for you to be able to go and see the pictures. See what those bikes are when we talk about it, because some of them are actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's not that prevalent in the motorcycle industry, although I did check that girl's bike out on the ride we went on. Most guys would be like checking the girl out.
Yeah.
I checked her bike out.
Really?
Yeah,
Not her?
I checked her bike out, and I do a gear check. But if you've ever been on a mountain bike ride or a road bike ride, like you pull up on a new group or whatever, like they don't even. It's kind of like me when I roll up. I don't acknowledge you. I just look at your bike. You do a whole gear check and you figure out what's on that bike. That's what we're doing here, sort of.
You've seen this bike in person.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, Todd Kelly was at our class.
Well, that's how much I remember people.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
No, I don't. Like, you know how you have a problem with seeing words and then pronounce them correctly?
Yeah.
I have a problem with like meeting people and never even know that I ever met them in the whole real world.
Really?
It just it takes a long time. It's weird. I'll remember his bike, like
Those lights are cool.
but not. Now that we've talked about it, I might remember this bike. This bike was not in our class. Was this at our class?
He says it is. I don't remember, though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Then he must have been a really good student.
You didn't have to write on the back of it?
It was parked here for one of the days.
Oh, but he didn't take the class.
No, he did.
He
I
took.
thought.
Well, if I would think that I would remember this bike if it was in our class,
He
other
said it
than
was in the class.
if he was in a class. Okay, it says right there on the screen. It says this bike was at your class, so you've seen it in person.
Yep.
Was he in our class?
I
Did he?
don't know, but it was so garish I couldn't forget it.
Garish.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an interesting word.
I don't even know what it is.
That's the orange front disc guard with the blue hub with
Garish. Yeah,
Yeah.
just the
With all the lights.
West Hollywood explosion of color. Kind of.
West Hollywood explosion of color. That's way out of most of our comprehension. But he means rainbow. He means a
Vocabulary.
rainbow of color.
It's pretty bright.
But if somebody's in our class, I usually, if they're a good student, I don't recognize them as much as what we call our special needs students, which just they require more attention. They have things where we know we can go and help them. But if you're actually out doing the drills and everything, Robert and Natista called it a Las Vegas light show. So good on you and your California
But the mistake he's making
words.
is
Put it back up.
if he's riding somewhere he shouldn't be,
Uh-huh.
the bike is easy to remember.
Oh, well,
I
we don't
like
ride
it.
any place.
A normal bike that blends in with everything else.
So this guy's not a tail view man. This guy's a front view guy. He likes the rack up front. And when you look at, we haven't got to the headlights yet, but those headlights are glowing. By the way, not as much as the color. So was he in the class? Todd, were you in this class? That was the question.
I don't think I was there.
I don't remember him. You remember him, Logan?
I remember the bike for sure.
Yeah, Bob remembers the bike.
Maybe he should comment like
Bob's-
when he came. If
Bob's-
he remembers.
I had
ha-
that and his Christini here.
Oh,
Both tricked out.
okay.
Oh, and
So he rode the Christina during the class.
I guess.
And
This
he
might have
had-
been a class I
and
wasn't
he
there
had
for.
he had a lot of stuff on his Christina.
Right, it was just like that bike.
It was but it was a Christini.
All the same colors, Bob?
No, different colors.
No, it was just all the.
Maybe that's why I was confused.
the
Don't touch that stuff, Logan. That's illegal.
I didn't do it on purpose.
That's complete. You didn't do it on purpose. Oh boy. Okay, so back to the reading off the list. Do we get sidetracked?
Yeah,
Just
we
a
did.
little bit.
All right, so he's got a stock exhaust, stock carbon pipe guard, EE spark arrestor, end cap, RK Tech high comp head, JD Power Surge 6-time fuel tuner, V-Force reeds, throttle body idle screw mod, seat concept seat, a Cherry Beast 3.1 gallon tank, EE aluminum skid plate, KTM fan kit, bulletproof designs, rad guards, front rear rotor guards, Jimmy Lewis's favorite, Eco's Auto Endo, custom LED light up setup, Zeta,
Yep.
full
Zeta.
full wrap hand guards with built-in turn signals, Tusk Street legal lighting kit, Recluse, the stronger Belleville clutch spring,
Vile. It's okay. That's
I thought I got it until Bob's reaction.
Bellevue.
Oh,
Belleville.
clutch
Bellevue.
springs, increased spring rate to match my weight. A Dow Sago XP1 kit for the Explorer 48 fork that adds a mid valve and replaces the base valve. APE Racing Flex bars, ODI lock-on grips, Trailtech Voyager Pro Best Dual Sport 90-degree tank, elbow,
Oh, that means that bike has that guy gave it 16 more horsepower.
billet fuel filter, billet external quick disconnect fuel filter, quantum fuel pump, and a bunch of bling as well as the protection parts. Happy 4th.
Yeah, 4th of July. That was a, So now I understand why I can't remember that bike. Now that we talk about the Christini, and I just knew that when I saw those bikes, it's like this guy likes to mod his bikes and put stuff on things. You know what? I can't wait. So Todd, he says they rode both bikes in the class. He must have done well in the class because I don't remember talking to him all that much. I don't remember because actually, I wonder if I would have, like, you know, when you're, it's probably never happened. Did you ever go to the lake or the river in the summer?
Yeah.
And there's some girls with like you can have a hard time concentrating.
Yeah.
On maybe I was just enamored with his bike and I didn't pay attention to him.
Just okay.
And I was just confused the whole time. So those, he likes modifying his bikes that a lot. I mean, it's a pastime.
And I like his handguards.
And he takes pride in it, and he wants to put all that stuff in there on those bikes. You need to do a before and after picture, Todd, with your KTM 500 that you bought used, because I want to see what this turns into. This is
Yeah,
I'm more curious about the person, like why they modify it, how they modify it. And he has a propensity to like where I want to leave things as stock as possible and modify as needed for my quirks.
Yeah.
Like what I have these things, I want to do this and that. And
Like a new seat.
oh.
Seat concepts.
Yeah, we'll get that in a minute. But yeah, pretty good. So Todd, that bike definitely, it roosts again. Are we on a 100% roost ratio tonight?
Yes, but there's one that is gonna
This is
rival a three-wheeler.
I like it. I don't know what you guys are talking
No,
about.
I already see the picture right here. So go for it.
It's a 1972 Sears Roebuck Mini Scrambler.
Hey, that was good. Hey, that was good sounding out of the words.
Really?
Yeah, all the words were proper.
It's from Hayward Jablom.
Hayward Jablom with an apostrophe at the end.
Oh, the guy's name.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jablom, yeah.
Oh,
Good.
God, I have to read this.
This thing, that's the Sears version. What was the taco? What was the taco?
Those springs look like trampoline springs.
Dude, that thing's rad. Logan would say sweet.
Yeah.
It's sweet?
I think it's cool.
So you know those bikes you buy at Tractor Supply? Evidently in Pahrump, you rip it off from Tractor Supply and then you use it to steal other people's shit while you're riding around town and the cops catch you. But you were on the surveillance camera
This is getting personal.
stealing it. You did not steal a bike from Tractor Supply, did you? They
No, I was
arrested
just
that
saying,
dude.
This is like,
No. So in Pahrump, you steal the bike from Tractor Supply and then you go do robberies around here. And so they got you on video stealing the bike, cutting the fence and stealing it out of Tractor Supply. And then they got you on video pulling up to people's doors on your newly stolen bike and stealing shit from their house and rolling around. So in Pahrump, so what I was getting at is now they have these bikes you can get at Tractor Supply.
little Coleman's, right?
Yeah, those Coleman things.
Yeah, those.
And that's the modern day version of this. The good thing about those is hopefully it doesn't get robbers into racing motorcycles. It gets kids into riding dirt bikes.
I agree. Yeah.
And you can go out and do something because back in 1972, is this really 1972?
That's what it says. Yep.
Yeah.
Sears.
You could get this thing and all of a sudden you had a mini bike and you got the experience of riding dirt bikes, which is super cool. And out having fun, and whether you took some time off to have some kids or go to school or whatever, at some point you wanted to get back into dirt bikes. Even if your shock absorbers were not connected to your seat and your frame wasn't just a couple of oval tubes welded together connected to the axle on the front and the headset on the
There's no way he
axle on
can
the rear.
jump this thing.
Oh, dude, I bet you if they had cameras back then,
Yeah.
which they didn't, they had to actually scribe it into stones. You don't know this, but back then, you didn't pull out your phone and take a picture with it. You had to have an artist
Like
that
a
would
turn wheel?
that would have he'd have a chisel and a thing, and he'd watch you do it, and then he'd chisel it into the stone, and then it would be preserved in history. It's kind of like cave paintings.
No way.
That was in 1973. They started the cave painting craze.
No.
Well,
I'm not
keep
believing
going.
this.
Yeah, Bob's raising his hand frantically.
If it's stock,
It's worth a lot of money.
unmodified, it's worth big bucks.
Yeah.
Got a lot of.
Okay.
So
He's
it's
got
got
a
a-
long list.
Oh God.
And I still
already
got half
know
a drink, so go ahead.
It's a 3.0 horsepower.
Oh, good. This is going to be a good word. It's the one that starts with a T. Let's go around the room. The room. Who knows the producer of a lawnmower motor that starts with a T?
Oh, I do.
I do.
Tractor.
No.
It's the name of a famous Indian chief.
It's probably you're probably not allowed to
That's
call it.
gonna help.
We have to rename it now.
Yeah, it's probably canceled.
They renamed Squaw Valley Resort, by the way. Yeah, ski resort. Yeah. It's just
And they did up in Montana.
Okay,
Squaw Creek.
so go for it. We're not gonna judge based on your.
Tecumseh.
Oh, that was it.
Really?
Tecumseh. Yeah. Tecumseh. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think it was the accent that helped.
Yeah.
It's 4-stroke. Naturally. What was that word? A spirited?
Yeah.
You were doing so well.
No, it's okay. Naturally a spirited motor because it is Indian.
Oh.
So it's a spirited.
Yeah, thank you. Float carb.
Because the Native Americans were very spiritual, so naturally a spirited motor. It's good.
Float
And
carb.
They were trying to in naming that motor. I'm pretty sure that they were trying to, you would if you were building a motor, you would want to show that motor is strong and powerful and spirited.
Yeah.
And all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's naturally a spirited.
All right. Air filter delete.
It's better than those other ones.
It's got 1.45 quarter desert tank. Kill switch delete. I just pull the unsolicited plug wire off to shut it down. Sprung for my weight by no damp and suspension.
Okay, hold on. So when you guys were working on that moped that you guys were playing around with,
Yeah.
did it not shut off any time? Did anybody try to pull the spark plug off to shut it off? Because he's talking about how he kills it. He pulls the spark plug wire.
Oh, like the coil off?
Just the spark plug cap off. You're riding along and like, okay, I need to shut it down. Because these
I
motors,
guess you can't stall that, huh?
So in the old days, these motors would have a little metal tab that was like a spring-loaded metal tab,
Yeah.
and you would tap it, and it would ground the spark plug out, so it wouldn't spark anymore.
It would just
so
shut
he's gone away from that, and he's just pulling the spark plug cap off. If you don't do this in a very quick, sudden motion,
Yeah.
you receive all that electrical shock.
To you?
Because you're usually grounded to the motorcycle, and
Yeah.
it grounds out through you, which isn't a pleasant experience. I used to have a Yamaha JT60 motor in a go-kart that we had to do this with, and I got a lot of volts shoved through my body. My wrists still remember this feeling as we talk about it. Yeah, so.
All right. It's sprung for his weight. He's got alloy wheels, rear brake delete, intake manifold matched and polished, intake and exhaust ports ported and polished, valves lapped to decrease valve clearance for a higher lift, head mild to 001 for higher.
Milled. We'll go with milled. Head milled.
4 to 1 compression, flywheel key offset to advanced timing.
Oh, so the flywheel key offset is probably just improper installation. Let me just code word this, because I know we're getting into some code words.
There's a lot of numbers too. 0.021 degrees. One piston compression ring removed along with the oil rings. This mod was way ahead of its time. 10 millimeter foot peg extensions. Chang Chen?
Ching Shin. But he's spelled wrong.
Ching Chen. Ching Cheng. Turf Saver tires, 4 psi, front 15, rear or the sprocket runs on the ground, turning left. Custom Nagahide
Nagahide.
seat cover. Why are there so many hard words in this?
That's okay.
Centrifugal clutch, deglazed by standing and spring ends bent to loosen tension for faster engagement. new mil spec 550 cord pull start.
So if you're like a gearhead or a motorcycle guy,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here listening to the stuff that he's saying in this, and it all rings a bell. I have done all of these things he's talking about to some way. He's making fun. Haywood is making a certain amount of fun of stuff that back in the day was how you modified, fixed, tuned up. I mean, I think he's making a joke by pulling the piston ring out, but like you'd have these little stock class racing, there would be a limited class, and there was no rule that said you couldn't take a piston ring out because it would make the motor rev higher.
Yeah.
And so people would do this, and then it was like all of a sudden your bike in the stock class is a little bit faster than the other guy's bike, and for whatever reason it would was able to do it. You look at these kids racing go-karts and lawnmowers, which is a lawnmower go-karts with lawnmower engines in it. This is what's going on here, but it's pretty funny that's what this guy is doing. I wonder if this thing is all original and if it's probably worth some bucks.
I bet you it is.
Yeah.
It's got a 6 front, 85 rear sprocket from Tractor Supply, 3-in-1 oil used for low viscosity.
That's good, yeah.
Gambler ready. P.S. I don't need anything.
Gambler ready. Okay, so here's that car that I have sitting out there with the quad wheels on it?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's Gambler stuff. So Gambler is an event that they go out and they drive around old junky things. It's called the Gambler 500. You're supposed to spend $500 a car, go out in a rally, ride a rally with these cars, pick up trash, have a good time out in the great outdoors. And they started the Gambler mini bike thing. And so they race those Coleman bikes I was just talking about. They actually have classes for those. And this thing is a Gambler ready bike for sure. It looks like it's pretty. Does it look like his pull starter is still there? I can't tell. Yeah, it's a pull starter, but it looks like it's broken off.
Though.
I wonder if he's direct drive. I'll bet you he's direct drive, no clutch. No, he talked about the centrifugal clutch.
So
his handle doesn't look like it's there. But what a cool little chariot.
Well, he says, P.S. I don't need anything from Takamoto if I win. Could I just get a George sticker?
Oh.
George has got a fan.
Yeah, you can absolutely get a George sticker. You're absolutely going to get a Dirt Bike Test t-shirt. You just need to send us in your information so we can get that in an envelope and send it to you. But yeah, what a cool little bike. No, this thing totally roos. This thing is like one step down from Husaberg.
Yeah.
In a whole different way.
I'm trying to see if you said it right, though. Did you say it right?
Husaberg.
You're not messing with me?
Guys, hold on. I'm looking at this name again. You should say it one more time, but slowly.
His name?
Yeah. Take a look at his name and read it slowly.
Who?
Haywood Jablom. Haywood Jablom.
Hey, would you blow me? Yeah, you got to read it out loud. That's Jablom. This show gets better every time.
That's pretty good.
I love the people that are submitting stuff. I really enjoy that people are enjoying what we're doing here. Having a great time doing this. Yeah, I got my voice-o-matron here, or my sound machine.
Where's the mic?
Yeah, we need to upgrade the sound.
That thing goes pretty far up there on the roost. They actually no, not too close.
Okay.
You can't touch the Husaberg. So it's so far, it's off the scale of the camera. So we have to pull this whole thing back in here to bring, like, the Husaberg, we don't even put it on camera because the camera might break. See, it's still going off the side of the screen. And since everything roosted tonight, we don't even have an end department. Husaberg's almost coming onto the screen. There we go. Give it to the Cooper cam. You might get the Husaberg in there. Is it too tight? Probably not. Oh, well. Okay. Hey, support the companies that support us. Yamaha, Takamoto, Scott Sports, Climb. DDC. DDC is our first sponsor. They make
DDC's
awesome
awesome.
chain wheels and sprockets. I wish they made them for the KTM 390 because actually what we need is chains.
Yeah.
The KTM 390 has a chain wear issue that it doesn't have enough power to stretch the chain, but you can over tighten it and stretch the chain. And then if you're Logan, you can knock the chain off the sprocket and then stretch the chain on only one half of the side of the chain
Didn't hear
and have
about
a
this.
whole new problem. Oh, it's going to be on the video. It's going to be awesome.
Nice.
Trail Tech. We use Voyager GPSs with buddy tracking, so every time that Logan tried to get lost, I activated my buddy beacon, and he would get a notification on his screen that something was wrong, and he would stop, and he'd go, oh, look, Jimmy's behind me, and I didn't see him. Yeah. Fasst Company. Seat Concepts, which we're going to talk about right now, and Bulletproof Designs. Somebody's actually trying to call me. Should I actually take this call on the show?
I think you should.
Roulette. Show roulette. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Is it going to be a scam, though?
Oh, I don't know. We're going to find out.
Call from.
Chris.
Chris is calling in.
To accept, press 1.
I pressed 1. Hey, Chris.
who won the-
Welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. You're live on the show. How can I help you?
Do what?
Oh, well, you called into a live podcast. This is a Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. I'm Jimmy Lewis. I'm the host. We're here with Cooper, who can mispronounce any word that you spell out. But since you can't spell a word out for us in the show, how can I help you tonight?
Oh, no, I was actually just calling to register or find out more info on the finesse classes that were coming up.
So are you looking for the Cispus Cycle classes, or are you looking for the Jimmy Lewis off-road training ones in Pahrump, Nevada? Cispus Cycle will be up in Washington. And actually what I'm doing right now, because you are live on the show,
Yep.
I'm turning this into an ad for my own schools.
Nice. Yeah,
So-
no, man, I'm in Northwest, so I don't know if I'll make it to Pahrump.
We call Pahrump Valley the Dirt People. It's because it's dusty and silty, a little dingy. You guys are up in this beautiful green Pacific Northwest. Logan was just up there. How was the Pacific Northwest?
Rivers are cold.
It's pretty amazing right now. It was just past weekend.
Weather's nice.
Yeah, so I tell you what, Chris, let me go ahead and try to give you a call back tomorrow morning, and I will get you situated. We can send you out entry forms or registration forms. Unfortunately, Janie, who's my bartender and helps out with registration, is down in, I don't know if she's in Machu Picchu or the Galapagos Islands right now. So we've been a little slow in getting back to you. So if we haven't responded to you, that's the reason. But hey, thanks for calling into Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
Dolphins. Yeah.
And we'll
pink dolphins, iguanas, or make sure she goes to Wana Picchu.
Hayu Picchu.
Wana Picchu.
Wana Picchu. So there's Machu Picchu. And then
Yeah, so Machu Picchu is Wana Picchu is the high, like the highest peak in that little area.
it's actually is it not Hayu Picchu? Because I actually
I'll
give you
it was Wana Picchu, but yeah, it could be.
I think it's Hayu Picchu, and the only reason I know this is because I did the Incas rally back in the day, which was put on by a Chirby's.
Okay.
And when so when you get off the train down at the bottom, and you have to ride a bus up that road, they shut down that road and let us race motorcycles. They took our motorcycles down on that train. We unloaded at the bottom, and we raced kind of like Pikes Peak style up to the top of that. And I am the fastest human on a 4-stroke motorcycle to ever go up that road. Unfortunately, this guy named Kevin Hines beat me on a 2-stroke. So I'm not the fastest human overall, but I'm the fastest human on a 4-stroke motorcycle up that road on my, at the time, a KLX 300. So just a little factoid that you probably didn't realize you were going to get on this call.
Yeah, no, that's Yeah, that's more than I bargained for.
Hey, well, thanks for calling
Right
into
on.
thanks for calling into the show. Even though you didn't know to call in the show, I should have turned my ringer off on my phone, but we plugged you in live. If you want to check out the show, you can check out at Dirt Bike Test on YouTube or Facebook. And what minute are we in here? We're about almost 2 hours on the show.
Yep.
So, anyways, I will get back to you tomorrow. It's Mina Pichu, according to one of our Mina Pichu according to our experts on our on the forum right now.
Pichu.
Well, we have a chat room that goes on the side of the thing. It's really a horribly produced show with substandard hosts with a lot of good information hidden in between all the jokes.
Yeah, but you're talking about dirt bikes, so
Dirt bikes
we all
and
understand.
motorcycle related products, and hopefully we can help you become a better rider. And
Tune in on Tuesdays.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, rock and roll. You guys have a good night.
Okay, thanks a lot. You take care.
See you guys. Bye.
Well, there we go. Another satisfied client, I hope.
Woo!
So who won the gift certificate?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I'm going to vote for Steven.
Which one was that? Steven was the...
Steven or Todd?
Steven was the one with the blinged out bike, right?
No, Steven was the one with the backlighting.
The bad lighting.
Bad backlighting.
You said Steven.
And he was in the chat, right? He was definitely in the chat. I like that one. He didn't want to win, and
Nope.
Robert can't win again.
Right.
So we disqualified him. I think Steven's good. What was the other one that we liked?
Steven, Robert's out. You said Charlie's out?
Oh, Charlie.
Charlie had the TPI bike. Or no, he had the two-stroke. No, Robert had the two-stroke. I don't know. I forgot by now.
500. The EXC-F. What?
Yeah, with all the
Takemoto mods. Yeah. So
he's already got the Takemoto mods.
He was the tailpipe man.
Tailpipe man.
I want to go with Steven too.
Yeah, I'm thinking Steven.
Yeah. I think that other than his photo, everything was really good. There's a couple things he could use. This guy, I can already tell that he will use that $100 in the most effective way, almost like Logan.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Logan's pretty thrifty, we'll call him. Because in our entire trip, the whole trip, he never pulled out his credit card, his wallet once. And I respect that because I was that guy all the time. If somebody else is paying, I'm playing.
Right.
So, anyways, super awesome. Oh, hey, we got to talk about our product. Product of the week. Product of the week brought to you by Pro Moto Billet.
You mean
No.
Bulletproof Designs?
Oh, Jesus. You need to reach out to Pro Moto Billet.
Aren't
Because I
they,
keep saying their name. Well,
aren't they a competitor?
Probably. They make a lot of similar stuff. They make good stuff too. So I have.
C-Concepts.
So let me redo this one more time. Product of the week brought to you by
Bulletproof Designs.
There we go. So that's where you should just step in.
Oh, and the thing just popped up too.
The thing.
Yeah, their logo.
Oh,
yeah,
was in the
Steven,
chat, too.
go ahead and reach out to me, Matt at jimmylewisoffroad.com, and I'll get you the instructions for what to do.
Here, why don't you hold that? Do you like touching something that's been so close to my butt for so long?
You didn't have to say that.
I know I didn't have to say that, but I did because it makes you uncomfortable. So this is a Seat Concepts seat for a KTM 390 Adventure. And let me tell you, this is a brand new product for them. So new that we talked to them. We said, hey, we're going to be riding these bikes back. And I knew the seat was a big problem. And Logan had the KTM Power Parts seat on his bike, which was better than the stock seat. And I'm like, well, I don't really sit down that much when I ride. It's not going to be a big deal. And then when I was testing the bikes out around here, I was testing Logan's bikes and my bike to make sure they were all set up with the racks and different things, the bags. And I go, oh, I'm going to be sitting down. This bike has what we call a sit-down rider position. It's just cramped. We'll call it cramped. You say cramped? It doesn't really lend itself to standing up. And most of the time we're just cruising down smooth dirt roads. You're going to be sitting down. And so I was a little worried about my seat. And so I called the Seat Concepts guys. They say, hey, we have a couple seats. They're brand new. They're coming out. And I looked at it, and the sport touring seat, I think they call this one, was a half an inch higher, and I'm already cramped on this bike.
So that's more cushion.
More cushion for the cushion. So I had, and it has the wings on the side of it, and they're pretty good about making it narrow in the front part. So if you do want to put a foot down, if you are shorter, which isn't a problem for me in this bike, it's shaped properly. And how good was that guy? What was his name? Do you remember? You don't remember his name either, because I don't remember names. I don't remember people, so I can't be blamed for this.
I am a student of you, so.
Don't remember people's names, because you have to cover for me when I'm not doing it right.
Yeah.
You need to. What do you need to compliment? You need to amplify, or no? Don't amplify my bad points. Compliment. Fill in the blank. So when you make a mistake, or I try to surround myself with people that can do things that I can't do. Like if I'm no good at something, I want to bring people in that are good at this. So don't copy me, Logan. Try to be, when you see me fail, like,
Laugh and then fix it.
yeah, laugh at me, make a joke, because then I'll feel self-conscious, and then you fix it and show me that you're better than me, and then I'll never have to do that again. I'll just let you handle it for me. So, but good job. By the way, Logan rode how many? 1,200 miles without really any super gnarly, like you only had to take the bags off the bike once to pick it up, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm picking on him.
Yeah.
But I'm complimenting him because he was smart enough. Is like his bike was in a position where he couldn't pick it up. So instead of like standing there and crying, he's like, I can't pick it up. He took the bags off of it, picked the damn thing up, strapped the bags on, and kept going.
There we go.
And I hardly had to yell at all. In fact, I didn't even know what happened. I just said, hey, Logan, what happened? He's like, what'd you say? Nothing.
I completely forgot about it. I was like,
Yeah, so he figured out how to do it. But anyhow, so back to my seat, my super awesome seat. What a difference it made, because we rode so much sitting down. And this kind of goes to like when I talk about my seats that have the, I always want to say Naugahyde, but it's not Naugahyde. It's the suede seats that I run on my rally training bikes. The seats that they have high grip. My tall seat on my KTM 1090 Adventure that has the extra grip on the side. Seat Concepts makes super awesome seats. The good thing about this was it had like 6 different positions I could sit on. So if I moved my butt back, half an inch, it changed where it was touching my butt. And then I'd move another inch or 2 back or 3 inches back, and it was a different position. And when you're sitting down on a motorcycle, how long were we riding for? 10 hours a day?
it was 26 total hours.
26 total hours of riding in 3 days.
3 days.
So that doesn't give us 10 hours a day.
Math genius, Matt.
But the last day was.
Well, was that moving time only, or was that total time? Only moving time. Yeah, because it's funny, everybody knows this, like moving time and total time, because you're stopped a lot, whatever. So anyways, we're basically doing 10-hour days, and your butt gets kind of tired. But I don't have monkey butt. You don't have monkey butt. Oh, you have monkey butt, because your seat wasn't as good as mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the next podcast, if you have any KTM 390 questions, by the way, bring them. Because we can talk KTM 390s all the time. But super awesome. So our buddy from Seat Concepts came over, ripped the stock seat off, put their foam and the seat cover on, used a really crappy stapler I was able to get my hands on, and it stuck on the whole time. It was good.
Nice.
I actually went with my air stapler and put a couple, after I took it off, I saw where the other staples were coming loose and got it good. But, man, it's nice. You don't want to do that, do you? You're scared of that thing now. You think my ass has been on there for a long time. So
6 hours.
26 hours.
That's a lot.
So yeah, super good seats. And I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor of the show. I'm saying that because I actually really believe in their stuff. It works good. It's been on that seat in particular, it saved my ass.
It's a lot of riding.
It's a lot of riding, and it was way better than the stock one. And even like between Logan's power part seat, which wasn't that bad because I know the difference, it turns it into a big single seat. Mine we took the we'll call it the passenger pillion seat off and used it part as a luggage rack, and that thing worked out pretty good. So it wasn't on our modified KTM 390 test that's up on Dirt Bike Test. This is something new, but we'll definitely talk about some of the things we've done to the bike since then and what we've learned in there. So all good. Anything else?
I think that's about it.
Do you have
everything.
Do you have any new words that you want to enunciate for us?
No.
Hey, and you know that if we're picking on you, we like you.
Really?
If I silenced up, like when you said bad words, I just go, oh, I don't know, I shouldn't acknowledge this. If I kind of, then I don't like you. But you're okay. So tomorrow, what were you talking about that you didn't know how to fix earlier? There was something you scared me with, and I'm going to let you work on a motorcycle tomorrow that you're going to get inside the motor.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
You ever pulled the top end off a 4-stroke?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And you put it back together?
Oh yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't make any screeching noises.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good to me. I'll trust in Cooper. So for everybody here on the show tonight, thanks Matt for semi-producing.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Cooper.
Logan for ditching out halfway through the show.
Logan should be in that producer seat.
Yeah. Thanks Maddox for the call center. If you need your car detailed and perump, do we need to come and see you? Yep. How do we reach you?
At Pure Detail on Instagram.
At PR Detail.
Pure Detail.
Pure.
Yep.
Pure Detail on Instagram. Okay. So you've been mobbing your truck out in the desert?
Yeah, broke a headlight.
Broke a headlight?
How'd you do that?
Is it a Dodge?
No.
It's a Ford.
Oh, Ford. Because I tell you, the Dodge headlights like to fall right out the front of the car. Yeah. Well, you're mobbing it pretty good. Don't teach these other kids any tricks because they can't afford this stuff. So
2 wheels only.
Bob, thanks for joining in on the show. Thanks for the constructive criticism of some sort. Cooper, awesome to have you on again.
Thank you.
The pronunciation of strategic words will lead to the new segment that we're going to have called Say It With Cooper. So if you're out there in the host, the watching, just you got to get on the chat and start submitting words, and we'll have Cooper handle them for you.
Yeah, be nice to me.
Be nice. So thanks to Senkuro Tequila. Thanks to Jimmy Lewis Off-Road Training. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Hey, what kind of climb gear did you wear the last time you rode?
None.
And that's why probably your ride wasn't as good as mine.
Yep.
Okay. Because I was wearing really awesome climb gear on our ride back. I kept making fun of Logan because he got his climb vented gear dirty.
Oh.
And it was so vented, he was freezing. Because he chose to wear his really nice vented gear, vented climb gear, when it was really cold. Then he busted out this ratty, old, used-up gear that was kind of vented from holes in it when it was warm, but it was black in color.
Yeah.
And so he suffered. I was in perfect temperature the whole ride. So thanks to all those companies. Click through our Amazon links, our Rocky Mountain MC links that are hard to find. Thank you for the help on that. And we will see you on the next show, huh?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, what do we do?
See you on the trail or something?
See you on the trail.